All right, Hickok 45, bringing you a Sharps rifle, finally, after all these years. Is that sweet or what? Single shot, yes. We have three people to thank today and think about. Christian Sharps, David Pedersoli, and William Lyman, all somewhat historical figures, I guess you could say, especially Lyman and Christian Sharps, because Christian Sharps came up with these rifles a long time ago, back in 1848, 49, the very first ones. They were breech loaders like this, and basically the same design, except there were no cartridges. They used just put the bullet and the powder in from back here, and it was in kind of a linen or a paper, cartridge, just like in the Civil War the muzzle loader shooters used with the Springfields and the Enfields in a way. But they'd stick it in there, and then when you brought up the breech block, it would cut it off, and then they had to have a primer, and it would fire those. So they're very much like this one, even though this is a cartridge gun. So the Sharps rifles go way back, 1850s, thousands of them made for the military and for hunters and everybody, in the percussion version. And then of course in the 1870s they were chambered for the 45-70 and many other cartridges. And you probably know of these as a Buffalo rifle, 50 caliber, 45-70, lots of different calibers and lots of different configurations too. And of course the Tang sight was a real boon, and guess who came up with that? The people who sent us this rifle. Lyman, William Lyman, came up with that sight in 1878. And even though this is a replica really of the 1877 Sharps, I mean, that's what it is. The sight on it is 1878, and that's why Lyman calls it the model of 1878. That makes sense. It's well, sort of. So it is called model of 1878, but it's a remake of the 1877 Sharps rifle. Okay, not confused, are you? It's pretty simple actually. So pretty neat gun. Let's put it over here and let you take a look at it, and then I will find some more ammo. Oh, I have ammo all over me, don't I? Now, is it a beautiful gun or what? I've had a couple of Sharps rifles, and I've just been without for, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years, I guess. I apologize, but I have had a couple. Had a Pedersoli, in fact, my first one. And then I had a Shiloh Sharps. So that's why I have all this ammo out. I'm not new to this, actually. This is my 500 grain black powder load here. So I have a few of those. I went to the basement to get a few of those today. And I thought, you know what, I'll just bring out the ammo can. We're not going to shoot that much. Y'all can relax. You get to go to bed tonight and not watch the video for 12 hours. But I'm just going to take that out and put it on the table. Because when I sold my Shiloh Sharps, I still had all this ammo. Now I have something to do with it. This is the same right here. The 500 grain is a big bullet. It goes down to about right there. I mean, it's huge. 500 grains, and mainly I shoot the 400 grain. This is smokeless powder with the 400 grain, flat bullet. Okay, so we'll shoot that mostly probably. But I wanted to shoot a few of these today, and this is cool. Now again, this is 1877 Sharps is what we're looking at, made and by Pedersoli and Lyman. Lyman gave Pedersoli the specs, what they wanted, and Pedersoli put it together, and it has turned out, I think, to be a pretty nice rifle. Like I say, I have had the Pedersoli before. I have had a Shiloh Sharps, which is generally considered to be one of the very best on the planet. Okay, I've got it at half cock. I happen to have some ammo right here on me. So let's just take a couple more shots with it. I have fired it a few times. The sights, I think I've got the elevation okay. I'm about to conclude. It shoots to the right a little bit, so I'm going to have to bring that front sight over a little bit, I think. I'm not sure yet. I want to shoot it for a week or two before I start messing with the sights anymore, because it doesn't feel too bad. Let's see. We'll try something close here, like that 2-liter. Bring your half cock and open it up like a lever. Well, it is a lever. Another round in. And try it again. Let's hit the pot. I'll use the set trigger. Since it's so far away. Pretty cool, huh? Now I'll shoot it without using the set trigger, and I'll show you what that is if you don't know. Let's go over there too. Well, I'll shoot without using the set trigger on that other 2-liter. Okay. Half cock, get your round out. Okay. Now the set triggers, you may have seen these on a firearm, 2 triggers. Why do you need 2? Put 2 fingers on them or something? Well, on a target rifle, which is really what this is designed for, or hunting, the rear trigger is a set trigger. What it does is, and actually you can do it with it down. I don't think it hurts it. I used to do that with my Shiloh Sharps. Okay, now I could fire it with the front trigger, but if I pull the rear trigger till it clicks, it turns that front trigger into a hair trigger. And that's what you want, because when you pull it, it takes no effort. And that's always good. A really light trigger makes you a better shooter. However, it also can make you a more dangerous person, right? Make the gun unsafe, perhaps, if it's really, really light. Well, the thing is here, when I cock this gun, bring it up to shoot, that's the only time I'm going to turn that front trigger into a hair trigger, see? So, you know, there's no big risk. I get on target, or I pull the rear trigger, and then I go around there, and I'm well aware I have a hair trigger. And so it's not a problem, okay? All right, let's take another shot or two. Let's see. Before I do that, let me tell you a couple things about it. It's beautiful wood, as you can see. And this was the 1877. Now I'm going to confuse you because I'm going to call it an 1877 Sharps rifle, even though Lyman has, you know, dubbed it the model of 1878 because of the Lyman sight that came out then. And this was a real innovation. And you know, Lyman sights, Lyman tank sights, Marbles tank sights, I mean, everybody uses them. I've had them over the years. They've been around forever. How about since 1878? And in wide use, so they're wonderful. They give you a peep sight of sorts, just like we all like on an AR-15, you know, and you get them on these old guns. I've got one on my lever gun, my 1873 you've seen. Makes it much easier to shoot well, just like, you know, from many of the rifles you own, modern rifles, you use that same kind of aperture front sight. So they are wonderful, and they help you on these. Now, what happened with these, quickly, is that the 1874 is probably the most prolific and widespread Sharps rifle. I had 2 of those in the companies I mentioned before. They had heavier receivers and frames. And in 1877, by that time, competition shooting was really becoming very, very popular in Creedmoor, Long Island, New York, the Creedmoor, you know, matches in England. And so, more so than buffalo hunting, there was a demand for a really accurate rifle and a shootable rifle for those matches. Thing was, international rules demanded you could only have a rifle under 10 pounds, or 10 pounds and under, but you know, 10 pounds was a cutoff. And the big old 1874 Sharps, the frame and the receiver was so heavy, it was just bigger, a little bit bigger built. So you couldn't put a heavy barrel on those as well without getting too much weight. You know, it was overweight, couldn't use it. Although they were fine rifles, of course, used them for, you know, years and years hunting buffalo and everything else. So what the Sharps did was they came up with this. They took a lot of the weight, took a pound, I read, out of the actual receiver by shaving it down here and there, smaller hammer, okay? In that way, they could put that weight back into the barrel if they wanted to, because when you're shooting really long range, powerful rounds, a heavy barrel helps, you know, you're competing at 1,000 yards, 800 yards. So that's what they did with this rifle. It's got a little bit lighter receiver, and that way they could be more flexible on the weight they put out there on the barrel. All right. Now, the thing is, I noticed about this between my 1874s, both my Shiloh and my Pedersoli that I owned, is it's more comfortable, it feels better, and it's not as heavy. It's like 9 pounds. I don't even remember what those weighed. But I know that Shiloh must have been 12 pounds or something. I mean, it was a tank, great gun. But this thing, you just feel like you could take it out hunting and it wouldn't just wear you out, you know? So it just feels good. I'm gonna shoot some more to prove that. So so far, I am impressed. Okay, let's put another 405 grain in there and close her up and cock it. And let's see if we can hit the red plate again. Okay, I'm going to pull the rear trigger. I cocked all the way. Rear trigger turns the front one into a very light trigger. There we go. and I should not miss. You're supposed to bring it to half cock before you open that. I forget sometimes. Okay, the way these things operate, at least on my others I know, and I'm sure on this one. Half cock, then you eject that, and it's better on the action. You don't break the firing pin. You got your extractor there and your firing pin in there and everything. Okay, so you kind of do all the operation of it when it's on half cock. That's the idea. Unless you're too dumb to remember. Okay, pretty cool. Let's bring it down, put another round in. Great sight. So it's a Lyman rifle. I guess they didn't have any trouble getting Lyman sights put on it. Let's try a 2-liter over there. Like I say, I think it goes a little bit to the right. I tend to pattern to the right with it. It could just be me or the light, but I'm going to hold on the left side of that orange 2-liter. I think I did go to the right. Oop, forgot again. Let's try it again. Or over it. I may not be ready for any precision shooting, to tell you the truth. Not that that's all that precision. These are really designed for long range. That's real high. Okay, go again. Get out of there. I'll take one more at it, and then I'll rest my arm. Thing is heavy. Okay. All right, let's relax now. Pop that thing. Oh, that felt good. I think I saw it just barely to the right. We got to do one more. One more on it. Not, we'll go to something else. That's what it is. I held about that far to the left of it. So it's either me or it's the light. Now remember to half cock at that time. I can tell if I don't get my act together, I'll be buying a new firing pin or something on this thing, because it is supposed to be better to half cock before you bring the action down. So before I shoot it again, what else about it now? Explain the set triggers. You got your breech block, the falling block, this is called. The Sharps, again, this is a 77 model. But they're all basically the same, same design. Just this one's not quite as big and heavy and as beefy, and actually more comfortable to carry and shoot in a lot of ways. So, so this was what the doctor ordered for long-range shooting in those matches, those Creedmoor matches. You probably heard the word Creedmoor. Like, I know there's a Creedmoor shooting position. It comes up all the time, and if you probably surveyed 100 shooters. Casual shooters or whoever, so, okay, what is Creedmoor? Where'd that come from? Some wouldn't know probably, and I'm not an expert, but I know the Creedmoor matches. They were famous in Long Island, New York, and these rifles, and others, ruled the day. It was long-range competition, very long range, and it was a very serious competition. So you wanted the very best rifle. People still do this today, of course. If you're familiar with the long-range black powder silhouette rifle competitions, I almost got into that when I had my Shiloh Sharps, but I thought I went and watched a match or two, but I'm just not inclined to do that as much, to that precision, really long range. You've got to tweak your loads over and over to get exactly the right load, and I don't know, it's just not my area. It's neat to watch people do that. It's kind of like bench rest, shooting. It's just not something I'm as interested in, but I love these guns. And so even though I'm not going to be competing with them at 1,000 yards or 800 yards, they're fun to shoot. They're just classics. The Buffalo rifle, the Sharps, this is it. This is very similar to the earlier ones. It's just a little different, as I explained. So they got that weight down in the action, and they were able to put more of it out here in the barrel when they wanted to. And my others had octagonal barrels, but I kind of like this round barrel for a change. I don't know. This thing has really grown on me the last few days I've had it. And of course, you can't hate the sights. I don't know if John gave you kind of a look down there, if you can do that. If you can see that front sight, I don't know if we have that capability, at least kind of look at the front. It's a really neat sight picture. And you can replace the inserts up there, which I already did. There's several different inserts to put in it, and then you got different apertures back here. So once you get the sights on and you've got you know, the gun, you know, sighted in perfectly for you, and with that set trigger, there's not a lot of excuse for missing. There really is not. Pretty cool. So you probably heard about these things. The Old Reliable, the 1874 was called. Let me shoot. I don't think I want to go to black powder just yet, because I know one thing I want to do, and who knows where they're going, but we're going to do it anyway. I have some paper over there, and I stuck some targets on it. I actually signed all of them and dated them, and I put I don't know, 8 or 10 targets back to back, all of them signed, and we're going to put a couple of shots on it. And I may put them on eBay, or one of them, or some of them. I don't know what we'll do with them, but we'll put one of them at least on eBay if it doesn't blow over before I shoot it. But I always joke about doing that at the target range, just stapling up about 10 targets and then peel them off as you use them, right? So my guess is the hits on all those targets, well, at least I'll try to shoot it so that all the hits are the same, okay, on the targets underneath and everything. What I'll do is I'll try to hold a little bit on the left, so there's not going to be any great group probably, but I will hold towards the left of it in the black and just see where they hit. We probably won't be able to see, that's okay. Wherever they hit, where they hit, doesn't matter. We'll take a few shots at it. Half cock. All right. I'll get back into sharps mode yet. Set trigger. Might be too far to the right. Half cock. Hey, I'm remembering now. This thing feels good. That one might have been off, I don't know. We'll put 4 on it, let it go at that. I am not Quigley, if you've seen that movie. That's good, at least we've got holes in it. Yeah, if you've not seen Quigley Down Under, and you like Westerns at all, this rifle, these rifles, these Sharps are really displayed well in there. Some amazing shooting, of course. I didn't know Tom Selleck was such a good shot. And there's other movies you see these. Valdez is Coming comes to mind, and some of those where these guns are featured, their long-range accuracy. They're known for their long-range accuracy and power. That's why they were popular in buffalo hunting. You know the cartridge, big old cartridge, 45-70. I load lots of them, obviously, and shoot lots of them. Powerful round, fun to shoot round, and these things are just classic. Like I say, Christian Sharps came up with these in from 1848 and into the 1840s, and he had been an apprentice at Harper's Ferry Arsenal, just a flunky. I think he started out there, and he learned the trade, learned about firearms, and he came up with this and got it patented in the late 1840s. And the rest is history, as they say, all through the 50s and then the 60s, 70s, and on up, you know, for different purposes. So this gun was carried in a Civil, not this particular one, but again, you got your action. This is a Sharps. It's like a 1911. You got all kinds of variations of it, or an AK or an AR or anything else. You know, during Civil War, it was a percussion, and you had the carbines, you had long ones, and then after that, buffalo hunters, you know, carried them in various configurations. Some of them had really large barrels, really long barrels, others not so long. You had the carbine. The cavalry carried them in carbine version and 45-70, and of course along with the trap door. So there are lots of different configurations, straight stocks, you know, pistol grip stocks, you name it, fancy like this one, very plain Jane. So they come in all sorts of configurations. And again, you see how simple they are. That falling block, you just pull her down and, you know, just slide the round in. They're very, very, very simple. And of course, that's the reason, the one that, oops, there I go again, for their accuracy, because they're just the simplicity of it. The cartridge is locked in there really tight. You got that heavy breech block comes up, behind it, and it's like the ultimate bolt action, isn't it? Pretty cool. Nice. And again, Pedersoli, I think I'm speaking correctly. I think most people consider, of the Italian-made Sharps and rifles like this, that they tend to do either the best job or one of the very best of the Italian makers. They really do. I know when I've looked at different reproductions of firearms, I always look for a Pedersoli if I can. They just do a good job. And then with Lyman, I guess, giving them the specs and overseeing this project, it's just, to me, it looks like it came out even better. This is a really nice rifle, I have to say. When I bought the other Pedersoli and the Shiloh, I didn't have the fancy grade like this. Just didn't look quite this good. So this one's cool. Got the round barrel, 30-inch barrel, like 1 1/18-inch twist. Weighs about 9 pounds. Good-looking rifle, a good shooter. I can tell already I'm not going to send this one back. It's my guess. It feels good. I don't know. There's just something about it. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but it seems to balance better than the others I had. It just feels good. So one thing we've not done is shoot a black powder round or two, and who knows where they're going to go. We'll find out. Oh, I got some in my belt. See what I did here? Isn't brilliant? Look at that. See, these are black powder, 500 grainers, so I turned one upside down. See, cowboys used to do that. They'd put some other cartridge in the way. Let's try this. Okay, did I need to shoot? Nah, we didn't need to shoot any more smokeless, I guess. So let's see what happens with this. It's been a long time. Look at these torpedoes since I've shot a 500 grain 45-70 and a Sharps. Life really is good. All right. This is going to be a little smoky. All right, let's just take that water jug out right there. Who needs a set trigger for that? Oh, nice. Let's see, half cock. I'll try to keep those separate. It's not hard to tell, that's for sure, because they're a little bit dirty. Let's try one over there, see if they have a similar point of impact. Let's put one of these on the gong, if we can do it. Cool. Try to get these back there. So I think I can tell where it hit. Who needs paper targets? You can you can see. Put another one up there. Ah, nice. One more on the gong. Big old 500 grain bullet lumbering out there. I may have to, that one I didn't get seated well, it looks like. I'm gonna try, or I did, but some guns, I'm not gonna force it. There we go. All right. Oh man, I'll tell you what, you could drive nails with this thing if you worked with it. You really could. Let's got to roll a ram. Oh, I know what we got to do too though. We got to take out a, yeah, it's a pretty tight fit. There we go. Got to see an animal fall. Yeah, that's what these are designed for, black powder. But now the modern ones especially, you can fire smokeless, it's not a problem. Bring that one out. There we go. That is a nice rifle. Well, I don't know, there's any other lies about it that I wanted to tell you. It's just a dream. The Sharps is a classic. It just fits in there amongst right there amongst the top of all the classic rifles. You get right down to whether it's an AK or a lever action 1873, Sharps, it just is, and any model of it basically. And this one, if I had my druthers, I'd kind of like to have a 74 again in a way. But this one, it just is so handy. And with those sights, you can't miss, at least once they're on. The sight picture is incredible. It really is. And if I were to lie down with this thing and get in a prone position or bench rest it and get those sights on, I think I could hit about anything with it. Of course, people shoot them at 1,000 yards, so that's no mystery. And they shoot it with black powder, like they, of course, did in the old days. And people who compete with these at those ranges shoot black powder today. That's what the game is. It's black powder. So, I mean, they're just known for being reliable and being accurate, strong. They're just something else. They really are. And this model, the old replica of the 1877, is kind of special in a way. I was not all that familiar with it. They didn't make a lot of these. There are about 100 of them, I think, they actually made back in 1877 and through 78, I think, 79. So there weren't a lot of them made, and that's one reason you don't really see them. And the ones that are out there, the original, extremely collectible, as you can imagine, and expensive. So good old Sharps. We'll have to do some more shooting with it and get the sights right on and figure out more about it. It's a fun gun. Life is really good. Got him in the black. That's not bad for me, offhand, I guess, with a new gun. All right, now the big test. I hope the hits are somewhere close on these targets behind that first one. First one was not too bad. At least they're all in the black. I can live with that. Let's see. All right. Now the big test, though. All right, John, the same on that one. Look, cool. I believe if you overland, they'll be the same. That one. That one. Cool. I'll be darned, the hits are the same on every single one of them. Well, good. Yeah, that makes me feel better. I shot 10 good targets. All right, I can live with that. All right, let's take these back over. And we'll put one of them on eBay or all of them or do something with them. Maybe see if we can sell them down at the hardware store or something. Buy some 2 liters. That's it, I'll trade them for some 2 liters.